All right, ladies and gentlemen, Sweet Fanny Adams here at Jam & Jackson Nelson, track number 3, Great Southern Slam, getting ready. We've got just over a minute before the Albany Roller Derby League from Western Australia. The Great Southern Breakers take on Brisbane City Rollers B team, the Nasty Nancies. So we are Div 3, track 3. Day 2, damn it. Almost had a hat trick. Okay, so Albany, which I'm going to try to pronounce right because I have a suburb near home called Albany, so I do kind of slip. But Albany Roller Derby, their team 010 Slane, 10 is Stacks, number 2 Samwise Jamji, number 21 Toxic Cass, 333 is Hazel Hellraiser, 420 is Lethal Liability, 51 Melly Go Round, number 8 is Pins and Noodles, 88 is Serena Williams, number 9 is Splatterly, 90 Rolling Stony, and 959 is Kitty Whiplash. Very quickly, 30 seconds. Oh, we've had the curly whistle, but Zeebs are confirming they're not in position, so I think we have time for the Nasty Nancies. 00 is Zoom Zoom, 13 is Squirrel, 25 is Sawyer Legs Off, 2319. I hate them long numbers, but I'm not the one who has to say them. Haha. That's Rose Blood. 33 Big Chest Her. 37 is Happy Cadaver. 52, unfortunately, Claire Bitch Project will be on the bench today. Yesterday got a broken hand, which is really not good. 55 Dolminator. 57 Quiet Riot. So Quiet Riot stepping up as team captain today. 63 is Melcatraz. 78 is Wickard. Number 8 Pulp Friction. 888 Go Anna. 911 is Bow Fracture. Now, I need to turn the volume down in my head. God love you. Alrighty, just sorting out some technical stuff so that we're loud enough for you at home, but I'm not too loud in my own head. I get enough of that at home. Thanks for coming. Righty-ho, so squaring up. This is the awkward position to commentate from, but trust me, you are going to love the feed from this angle. We get brilliant action from here. So I'm sure you can cope with my inadequacies. The visuals make up for it. Okay, so I can see Happy Cadaver, Dolminator, Quiet Riot, and I think that is Zoom Zoom out on the track for the Nancies. I can see Hazel Hellraiser, so for Albany. Now, that should mean that she's got Stacks there. Yep, Stacks on the inside. A little harder to see the team there, and I cannot see either of the jammers. I'll try to pick them up as we go along on as they come off their benches to head to the track. That would be probably a smart thing to do. It does look like, let's see, we've got Splatterly out there for the Great Southern Breakers in the pivot panty there. So, yeah, that's Nasty Nancy's in the black. And Great Southern Breakers, I think I heard from their war cry last night, they're not quite blue, they're not quite green, they are something in between. So, thank you for bringing that piece of joy to my life. That was a cracker. I'm going to call them green or teal. Did we go with teal? Is that what the teal duck looks like? Okay. No, that's Toxic Cass in the pivot panty there. And that is Wickard jamming there for the Nancies. It's made it through. And that is Kitty Whiplash copping some heat there from that black opposition. So Bermuda Triangle, black hole, however you want to call it, but has baited them to the outside. Only just completed the initial pass when Wickard has hit a scoring pass. So getting an early feel for how this game is going to be. Some strong blocking coming from the Nancies already. Interesting use of powerful jammer straight off the bat. Now, that looks like Pins and Noodles down on the line for the Great Southern Breakers. And I think that might be Sawyer Legs Off for the Nancies. defensive positions and a good sweep position there that unfortunately Pins and Noodles was not able to maximise the opportunity. Nancy's covered that far too quickly. Sawyer legs off is getting all of the push. There goes, yes, Pins and Noodles taken down at the front there by Big Chester. Sawyer legs off coming in with the reverse booty block. And yes, Pins and Noodles has been recycled, yet to make an initial pass. Sawyer legs off coming through, zipping around Slane on the outside there. And now all of Albany are in trying to work offence. Very limited time to work the offence before Sawyer legs off comes back, but I believe right priority, you need to get your jammer out, otherwise the other jammer has no reason to call it off, and it's like having a power jam, but your jammer's still on track, and that is heartbreaking. So I think that was absolutely the right call by Albany there to get their focus on getting Pins and Noodles out, because that's what forced Nancy's to call it. All right, so lining up, I believe that's going to be Kitty Whiplash again. Jamming for Albany. Oh, see, now I'm just showing off that I can pronounce it right. All right. Cannot see who that is jamming. That is number 8 for the Nancys, who is Pulp Friction. Love that name. Oh, there she goes. Kitty Whiplash is through Pulp Friction. I'm sure she's going to come along behind. There's Happy Godiva giving the assist to give Pulp Friction the inside line pass. Now we've got a whole lot of black pain at the back of the track there. Kitty Whiplash taken out of bounds, has time to come back in, try to pick up more points, only grabbed the 1 point there, I do assume. Yes. All right, I can see that the Quadfather is jammer ref for Albany. When they're both holding their arms up for the points, they both look like they're wearing black, but I can see from this angle Quadfather is jammer ref for the Great Southern Breakers, and Spanner's jammer ref for the Nancys for this period. They've also got Axiomatic in their pack reffing. Front pack, we can see Rules Vern. Oh, beautiful pass there, Pins and Noodles. So Wickard slower behind, further behind, but a nice bit of pace from Wickard there. Oh, look at the running. Yep, and the points are closer to Wickard. So it's going to be interesting to see, what does the benchy say? Do we call it? Do we not? Oh, we've called it, and I think we've got a shanking. Oh, maybe, maybe not. We're doing the confer to see at what point. Nope. Wee bit of a shanking, so 2 and 2. It's a hard one to call, because do you let your jammer keep fighting, trying to pick up more points on the next pass? Because anytime you're on track, you're on risk of penalties. So, yeah, it can all go very pear-shaped very quickly. But it does seem that the Great Southern Breakers are working this through. You can see Toxic Cass getting a position there to try to break up that nasty Nancy formation. Oh, and that was just neck and neck with Samwise Jamji on the tail of Sawyer legs off. So now the Nancys are swamping the Albany blockers to try and cause... Oh, okay. Didn't see what the hand signal was, but Samwise Jamji is in the penalty box. So this is a Nancy's power jam. Zoom, zoom, sent to the bin. Happy Godiva, Dolminator, and Quite Right, doing what they can to contain there. Rolling Stony, beautiful hit, taking Sawyer legs off to the outside. Splatterly last line of defence there, so they've taken some time off, but Sawyer still keeps going, powering on through and getting the call from the bench to call that one off to give their next jammer, who will be Pulp Friction, the power jam start, while waiting for Samwise Jamji to come back from the penalty box. Now we do have Zoom Zoom still in the bin for the Nancys, so slight pack advantage to Albany. We've got Bow Fracture is 911 there. Number 33 is Big Chester. And Melcatraz for the Nancys. Going to do what they can to assist Pulp Friction through. Bow Fracture has popped back, so already getting ready to yield, bridge back and yield. Pulp Friction managing to hang on against that fearsome block by Splatterly and Slain. Samewise Jamji back from the bin and straight through the pack, but here comes Pulp Friction for a scoring pass. Melcatraz taking the perfect position to lock down that formation and give Pulp Friction the outside pass. Whew. All right, so 6.5 minutes in. Great Southern Breakers have got 3 wins on the board. To Nasty Nancy's 34. Very strong gameplay being shown here by the Nancys. Sorry, I said Ward. God, I was just watching another green team. Apologies by... I don't even know if I said Ward now. Right, taking a breath, trying to get myself right. So there's Hazel Hellraiser bracing out the front there for the Great Southern Breakers. Looks like they've got Wickard to deal with. Very difficult to pronounce it because it's W-I-C-K-R-D, so Wickard. Oh, and look at Kitty Whiplash fighting like a fiend to get through, taking out Goanna at the front there, but Wickard not far behind, not far enough for comfort anyway. So hit and quit type situation. Ducks around the outside and just rides that line. Wasn't touched. Beautiful call there. Very well done for the Great Southern Breakers. Maybe I'll just stick to team names. Hopefully I can't screw that up too much. All right, Great Southern Breakers sending out Splatterly, Hazel Hellraiser and Serena Williams with, I think that's Slain in the pivot cap. Oh, no. So, oh, yep, 1. So Stax is in the bin at the moment for the Great Southern Breakers. So Slain is off, and this is Sawyer legs off. Oh, and the bridging bleeding apart, but all right, Pins and Noodles doing the run. Dolminator tries for the hit. Nice bracing from Pins and Noodles there. So Nancy's do have lead. Splatterly, lone blocker on track for her team. Got a nice little hit on, but seriously not enough to stop it. And of course, Sawyer calls that off after getting the hips past. So, all right, people. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Don't get penalties. Just don't do it. It's that simple. Just don't. Ooh, Matt Hyde's given some love out there to Bow Fracture. Woohoo indeed. All right. So, Rolling Stony shaping up there. There's going to be a multiplayer block on that one because, yeah, not releasing early enough. That was Stax again. Stax is back to the bin, but there we go. We've got Pulp Friction through, but hot on her tail. Here comes Kitty Whiplash. And look at the pace that this pack picked up to try to mitigate damage there. Hit and quit. Pulp Friction takes the points. It's a 4-zip. All right, we've got a timeout green. Not quite blue, not quite green. Must be something in between. Alrighty. Oh, I could probably mention sponsors or something professional, couldn't I? Check me out. So yes, I hope you're getting to enjoy not just the roller derby, but the site of the beautiful Adelaide Showgrounds. I've been the supporter of Great Southern Slam for years and years and years now. Facilities here are great because we've got the 4 tracks in this one side. Other side has the track 1, and track 1 has 2 warm-up tracks out the back, so fantastic facilities for us to be able to use and to do this many games and to be able to cover them all. It's just a great thing. So thank you very much to the Adelaide Showgrounds, major sponsors. And we're getting ready to go again so I can see our official timeout. So we've got Serena Williams on track with Toxic Hass and Hazel Hellraiser, with Stacks still in the penalty box for the Great Southern Breakers. You can see Dolminator, looks like Goanna out on the track there with Quiet Riot. And it's going to be Wickard jamming against Samwise Jamji. So I think, oh, that's Squirrel in the pivot panty for the Nancys. Look at these low stances on the Nancys. So Samwise Jamji also getting down low. Not quite sure how this is going to work, but the immediate swing across. Now, Wickard, you're going to see, I think, the pushing there, but Quiet Right does come in to hit apart the opposition. Wickard did travel to the inside, so being yielded back there, but no joy for Samwise Jamji at the back. A little step around the outside. Samwise Jamji is caught, but then here comes help. Panty has come off. I can't see if there has been a pass. I don't believe there has. The pack is moving. Great Southern Breakers have switched now from assisting to... Oh, no, they're back in their total assistance. So they're letting the points go in the effort to get Samwise. And Samwise is out. But Wickard coming back for a second scoring pass, getting swarmed by the Nancys on the inside. So Squirrel was in a beautiful position there to give Wickard the inside line. Nancy's not calling it off. All right, trusting the blockers, and blockers have taken Samwise down during their first scoring pass, giving Wickard a chance to come back for a third scoring pass. But now Albany are together. Now, the outside line. We've seen a beautiful footage, and the star has passed to Toxic Hass. And the 4 points have been picked up there. We've lost Squirrel to the bin. Wickard is now having a slightly harder time, but you see the Nancys coming in to swarm that defence, and they picked up. But Toxic Hass managing to make it through before the final whistle, and that 4 was blown, so it picked up 4 points. So tiny shanking. But a 16-8. So I don't think the Nancys are going to be too upset about giving away those 4 points, but Great Southern Breakers should be very happy to pick those up. Now we've got Sawyer Legs Off up against Pins and Noodles, having a skippity-poppity on the outside, but running into Big Chester, Bow Fracture and Melcatraz. And Sawyer Legs Off, hanging in there. Good power on Sawyer. Pins and Noodles, nice and slippy, but yeah, the hit from Big Chester, forearm. So Pins and Noodles is through, but Sawyer has gone through for their first scoring pass, and yep, being told to call it. So Albany are definitely mitigating damage here. Oh, I'm sorry, I called that ref as Spanners. I thought that was Spanners. Completely wrong. It was Nobody Expects the Spanish Inquisition. As you do. Now, outside pack ref here. No idea what their name is. 1170. So, I'm going to call him number ref. Try to get the other outside pack refs as we go around, if I'm not too busy watching the track and watching what Pulp Friction, for example, is doing there, while Kitty Whiplash fighting hard. Oh, beautiful fight, beautiful footwork. So glad that happened right where we could see it. Awkward Yeti and Miss Cray Cray are our other two outside pack refs. Awkward Yeti. I want to see a graceful Yeti. All right, bodies hit the floor. Kitty Whiplash going for a back block. People are looking a bit confused because Pulp Friction was sent to the bin, sent off. And yeah, no, that just got really just very bizarre.
Does that mean no initial?
All right. I don't know what the hell just happened, but it was ugly. But here comes Wickard. So Wickard got the Power Jam start. Pack advantage to the Nancys. Stacks and Hazel Hellraiser, only 2 out for Albany. And Nancy's using it to their advantage. They're making sure that they're covering the blockers and swarming them so they can't, even if they're together, they can't give a comprehensive defence. So we've got Bow Fracture working with Melcatraz and quite right there. Now this time they're letting Wickard work her own way through because they can. Kitty Whiplash, however, all right, the Nancys were shaped up to defend against Kitty Whiplash returning to the track, and Kitty Whiplash just skipped past, almost like they weren't even there. Just amazing. Just need that to happen at the right times. Alrighty. So we've got Splatterly with Serena Williams and Hazel Hellraiser with Toxic Cass in the pivot panty for Albany. I can see Happy Cadaver, and it looks like Big Chester and Goanna for the Nancys, but Sawyer legs off, finding the gaps and just taking advantage of that. Power and speed. Noodles, Pins and Noodles not having joy. Now Sawyer legs off low block. I wasn't sure, but yes, took out Cass. Now Albany really need to get Pins and Noodles out. Hard to do. They're trying to give coverage, and they are. Pins and Noodles is running. Pins and Noodles thought they were being sent for a penalty. But now Pins and Noodles doesn't have terribly long. That's taken some time off. Coming into the back of Happy Cadaver, Big Chester, they take her out, but Albany managing to get coverage, so the yield back doesn't happen. Now they're trying to cover their formation from the front. Not quite working the way they would like. Pins and Noodles does make it through, and that is their first scoring pass. However, we do have Sawyer back on track from the penalty box. So they're on another scoring pass here. Now, good formation by Albany to hold that, but that outside line, Sawyer just able to capitalise on that. The outside line does give skaters the opportunity, the way you cross over and travel around a track. Legs brace against an outside line, so you saw, hopefully on the feed there, will have picked up, and you could have seen Sawyer's legs just braced perfectly against those hits. All right, we're going the full 2 minutes, only 24 seconds left, so Sawyer is through for points again. Noodles comes in. Is Noodles penalised? Backlock, yes. I didn't see the action. I saw the impact into the blocking formation, and I saw the blocker fall. Sawyer coming. Oh, Sawyer hanging on beautifully to that inside line. And that is jam over. Oh, and skaters have to check their knees. Someone has lost the hard shell. You can see no one expects the Spanish Inquisition holding up a knee cover. So that was Big Chester. Lost the hard shell. You actually need those as part of the uniform requirements. And apart from that, it's just plain sensible, really, in this sport. Hard shell, yeah. Do that. Alrighty, so we've got a team timeout green as well being signalled there. I think we've got game over is our jam timer for this game. And I can see Pulp Friction back behind the line taking the Power Jam start for the Nancys. Going to have to come up, well, we'll be coming up against, looks like Slain, Toxicas. Trying to see numbers. And we'll get there. So I hope everyone at home is having a good Southern Slam 2018. I know we certainly are here. Not as cold as last time, thank goodness, because that was quite something. I can't say I'd call it a tropical heat wave myself, but I come from Queensland. So, but Adelaide has been having some good temperatures, and Pulp Friction has been having a good go through there, because that was a bit of a battle on the front of Splatterly. Pulp Friction managed to get themselves through that. Look at the power and momentum and the... I hate the word aggression. I have to think of the appropriate word, because aggression has negative connotations, and it's not aggressive in a negative way. It is just determined. This absolutely determined way. Oh, beautiful pass there, quite right, in the right position to give Pulp Friction the inside line there. We see something, Pulp Friction calling something to the blockers there. Now it's all hectic because Pins and Noodles is back from the penalty box and working their way through. Toxic Cass hanging on to that last blocker as hard as they could to try to get Pins and Noodles through, and it did work. Getting the call off. Alrighty. So, Samwise Jam G up against Wickard. Oh, nope. Swapping out. Kitty Whiplash coming up to Jam for the Great Southern Breakers. Now, Toxic Cass going to do what they can to assist there. I can see Zoom, Happy Cadaver. That low stance is Dominator. You can already start to pick who Dominator is on the track by that stance. 2319, of course, Roseblood. Good tap out and yield back by Zoom, but then Wickard is to the penalty box for a back block. So Albany want to really try to maximise this opportunity. There goes Kitty Whiplash. She's been doing good work on the outsides, but she's been hit out, has yielded back behind. Oh, and a beautiful jump in. So great work there by Kitty Whiplash. Good inside passes. I can hear cowbell. I hope everyone at home can hear cowbell. I mean, if it's just me, that's a worry. Kitty Whiplash. Look at you go. Cracking work. Now I can see why they sent Kitty Whiplash out in lieu of Samwise Jam G, because Kitty Whiplash is doing a fantastic job now. Toxic Cass trying to get into that, but sometimes it just becomes an absolute nightmare. But then we've got Wickard in the mix. Wickard looking for that outside. Runs fair into Rolling Stony. Okay. And there's Kitty Whiplash taking the point. So that was a 9-point jam for the Great Southern Breakers. Missing the moments when people... Oh, I'm pretty sure that's Sawyer. Sawyer legs off. I can see enough of a 5. And Samwise Jam G taking that outside line. Oh, my goodness. And here comes that Stacks and Slane. Slane, yes, does manage to take Sawyer out, but slid far enough forward, could step straight back in. Sawyer, good recovery there. Here comes Samwise trying to take the points. And again gets that outside line. Hits and quits. A good 4 points there for the Great Southern Breakers. All right, so they have got a huge amount of work to do in what remains of this first period. 8 minutes 40 on the clock. 36 points to the Great Southern Breakers, 97 to the Nasty Nancys. But I always have faith. These people are focused. So it's going to be great to see what they can do in the remaining parts of this period, because tighter score heading into half-time is always exciting. Now we have got Pulp Friction coming through. Was getting some help there from Zoom. That was... well, the assist did its job, but it did send Zoom to the bin. Is that going to be enough to help Pins and Noodles get through? Pulp Friction heading around the outside, not seen. So Rolling Stony unable to get the hit on as Pulp Friction ducked around the outside there, but Pins and Noodles is now out. So the Battle of the Eights, Pulp Friction can ducking around underneath Toxic Cass, but did skate off track and called it. So and Pulp Friction did pick up 1 point before sliding out of bounds. Okay, so there's Wickard up against Kitty Whiplash. Oh, and good support coming from the crowd here for Kitty Whiplash. Fabulous run now. There is the pack advantage. Green, so Great Southern Breakers. Now you've got Chester and Bow Fracture. Beautiful reverse booty block. And well done, Kitty Whiplash, to stop Wickard getting points. And yes, Kitty Whiplash did pick up the 4 points. So well done there by Albany. This is what I want to see. Just a few more points here and there. 6 minutes 40 on the board now. I mean, it's not going to close the gap, but if we can narrow it and keep this focus going, it's going to be very hard work for the rest of this game, but I have faith. All right, Sawyer legs off, getting some assistance there from Melcatraz. Nice assist coming from the Nancys there. You don't know that Sawyer necessarily needs it, but if you can give the assist and save your jammer that little bit of effort themselves, it's always the way to do it. And that was a great assist there by Melcatraz. And Melcatraz again right in the middle of that blocking formation. Saw they weren't needed to contain Pins and Noodles, so has been giving the assist as needed. Now here you can see Albany trying to pick up the pace of this one. Oh, and stopping it. There you go. Stacks. Beautiful little hit on Sawyer to take them inside, so forcing Sawyer to call that one off. All right, so we've got Samwise Gamgee. Samwise Gamgee, number 2. Up against, that's got to be Pulp Friction. Can tell by the height. Little powerhouse. All right, so now we've got Chester up giving the assists to help get Pulp Friction through. Oh, Chester taking it. Oh, look at that beautiful work to stay inbounds by Pulp Friction. Very well done. And now we have 3 apiece. We're bleeding blockers to the bin. A nice booty block there, but Pulp Friction managing to stay in bounds. The panty has passed to Toxic Cass. So here comes Pulp Friction. We can see Bow Fracture getting in the way of Serena Williams. All right. And the Great Southern Breakers blockers giving one another a bit of support there for all the hard work they are doing. Oh, just over 4 minutes left on the clock. So we've got Roseblood, Happy Godiva and Dominator on the track for the Nancys. Toxic Cass, Hazel Hellraiser are the 2 blockers on track for the Great Southern Breakers. 2 jammers on track. Oh, yeah, I'd be sending Wickard out, I've got to admit. In this sort of a situation, no pack is called. So, oh, but there comes Kitty Whiplash. Oh, my goodness. Kitty, 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 kitty. And, yeah, Wickard's just going to, been told, just call that one. Drop it dead. Clock's in their favour. They can bleed the time. It is fine for the Nancys. Makes it harder for the Great Southern Breakers to pull this one back. But they're going to do everything they can. There's Splatterly. Now, with a, let's see, 3, I think they had only a roster of 13 coming into this. No, a roster of 12. So it's a pretty short roster to be running in the first place. So high rotation for all players. Not much chance to rest. Doing really well. Nice work there by Serena Williams. Trying to contain Sawyer legs off. I would be taking that one myself. That's not a bad thing. I don't think you'll be able to stop Sawyer because Sawyer's got power and go. So delaying them for that long. Meanwhile, Pins and Noodles is Sawyer is now to the penalty box, as is Splatterly. So, oh, Pins and Noodles doing some serious twizzling, but the Nancys reforming. Stacks coming in to try to assist There's going to be some sort of back block assigned somewhere. Something's happening. Pins and Noodles, no joy. That looks like Melcatraz being braced there by number... Looks like an 80 to me, but it's not. All right, but we've got Bow Fracture and Zoom Zoom, of course, not 80-00. So, yeah, with Melcatraz, Bow Fracture and Zoom Zoom, that is a lot for Pins and Noodles to have to try to work through, and that's more than enough time. Sawyer back on track, straight up the middle. Pins and Noodles being sat on by Melcatraz. Melcatraz being braced by Zoom Zoom. Zoom Zoom popping a shoulder into the chest of Pins and Noodles. They're baited to the outside, but Pins and Noodles just not able to get their legs together to take advantage of that inside. And I can't say I blame them after getting the shoulders and the hits, losing so much air in all this fight while Sawyer keeps going around. Oh, some love from the live feed for Samwise. Samwise, cracker of a little skater. So it's nice to see some love coming through. I'm sorry that I can't announce it in the house. We only get it on the feed, but they will get to see this when they get home and know that, yes, people were watching and cheering. All right, so Pulp Friction coming out to jam again for the Nancy's. Oh, we got 55 seconds. Sorry, I heard music get pumped, but that's one of the other tracks. They're at halftime. We're not at halftime. We have still got a jam to go. Pulp Friction out with the Power Jam start, going to be assisted by Big Chester Squirrel. Oh, trying to get the pack moving. No pack is called. They're going to have to let Pulp Friction go, and yes, destruction of pack. So here's Rolling Stony at the back of the pack trying to, little duck around. Great angle. You see what I mean about this angle from home to actually see this action. The initial passes, sure, we lose something on the far corners, but we get to see the initial passes, and packs aren't always making it all that far around the track because the way the blockers are containing and just controlling speed and gameplay. And we're getting to see absolutely brilliant action here, brought to us by AJS Sound Systems. Oh, Pins and Noodles. Oh, so slippy. Didn't even see them come back on the track. Pulp Friction giving a little bit of jammer on jammer action. And meanwhile, the pack has picked up pace. Now, I don't know. Oh, you can have a look at Pulp Friction. Look at those legs. Those are powerful legs. Getting good speed, getting the pace on Pins and Noodles. Oh, goes for the apex jump. Does not land it. Oh. Okay. Got the 4 points. So I think the skate touched before she slid onto her knees. So. And that is intermission. So amuse yourselves for the next almost 15 minutes, or go grab some water, do whatever you need to do, and we will catch you back here very soon. All right. So we are 10 seconds away from beginning this second half. I'm currently wearing a cephalopod beanie. Don't know who it was at the Great Southern Slam decided to make and sell these. Someone from Newcastle deserves a huge round of applause, much like Kitty Catastrophe. What a clean pass. So, Power Jam start. Oh, hanging on those outsides. Forearms, though. Nuts. Nuts, nuts, nuts. Back into it. So, Wickard has worked their way through for their initial pass. Have to see what Albany can do against the strength of Wickard, but with all that black assistance coming from their blockers, not too much that Albany could do to contain Wickard on that first scoring pass. Now they have a strong formation at the back there, but Wickard on the back of Splatterly, trying to push, trying not to back block. Serena Williams has waterfalled round, and this is Rolling Stoney. Discretion is the better part of valour there. So, Kitty. Ooh. Splatterly is off for uniform violation. The arm number came off. So, Miss Cray Cray picking that one up. Now, Wickard is not lead jammer, so unable to call this off. And Kitty Whiplash going around picking up another 4 points. Now, we do have pack advantage to the Nancys. Oh, thought they'd hit Kitty Whiplash out. She's jagged back in. There is no lead jammer because Kitty Whiplash went to the penalty box after achieving lead jammer status. So that was the full 2-minute jam. Whew. That was 17-12 on the points there for the Nasty in favour of the Nancys. So entering into this second half, Great Southern Breakers are up to 57 points. Nasty Nancys have extended their lead out to 163. Vincy Pins and Noodles back on track. Here comes Sawyer legs off. Very much enjoying watching both of these jam. Very different jamming styles. There's Melcatraz getting into the defensive formation so that Sawyer legs off, gets an easier pass through. That's what you want to do as a blocker for your jammers. You want to give your jammers as easy a pass through as you possibly can. And look at that, the Nancy's clearing that inside again. They are doing a very good job of covering the defensive blockers before they can form up, and yeah, just covering one side of the track or the other. So they're holding. Oh, and it's a power jam now for Albany with Sawyer legs off, sent hand, Goanna off to the penalty box as well. Oh, bow fracture. Fell not comfortable on that one, but who would be? But back up and into it as quickly as they can. 5 points up for Noodles, but that will have taken quite a bit of penalty time off. And yes, Sawyer is standing in the penalty box, following the pack, choosing which way they're going to go as the shortest path to rejoin gameplay. Now, bow fracture and Big Chest doing quite a nice job at keeping this pack moving. Melcatraz is at the back of the pack. Now, good hit out there as Sawyer returned to track. She was taken out as Pins and Noodles goes round again. Now, that is our different track. Got a bit of sound bleed through. I heard whistles on the wrong track. I didn't think we were at the 2 minutes yet. Pins and Noodles taken down. And yes, this is just round and round. Everyone goes. We've had... Yeah, this is... And power jam again with Sawyer back to the penalty box. And here we go. Nancy's trying to pick up the pace on this one. But I do think, yes, that before the fourth whistle, I think Pins and Noodles passed one at the back. So we had the No One Expects a Spanish Inquisition just popping round to Spain because there were, reabsorptions and what have you. All right, so that's a 15 to 16, and again in favour of the Nancy's, so that 1 point more for them. So Toxicass too late to get onto the track, so only 2 Albany blockers on track at the moment, and they're trying to let Kitty Whiplash fight through. Now here comes Big Chester coming back to track, so yeah, that slight opportunity to fight through a lesser pack. And there Zoom Zoom is yielding Kitty Whiplash back. This has gotten Sawyer out of the penalty box before Kitty Whiplash can get through to take lead. So now Serena Williams working really hard there with Stacks, unable to contain Sawyer. So Sawyer using their power to their advantage. And a little hit out there from Stacks to yield Sawyer back. Stacks now has Hazel Hellraiser to assist, but there go Happy Cadaver and Zoom Zoom to take out their defence. And we are Skeleton Pack. Everyone has 2 blockers in the bin. This has got to be good for Kitty Whiplash. But it is not my favourite way to watch Derby. Frankly, it's all about me. It's not all about me, but I wish it was. Sometimes. Don't really. All right. Okay, so we've got Pulp Friction and Samwise jamming, a slight pack advantage to Albany. If you're sending out 2 Nasty Nancy's, apparently the 2 you're going to send out are Zoom Zoom and Bow Fracture, which makes a good bit of sense to me. And from this angle, we are going to get a great example of why, because Samwise is getting good movement and coverage, but just not able to break away from Zoom Zoom and Bow Fracture, who have switched positions. So there goes Pulp Friction. And Big Chester back on track to help out. Zoom Zoom has taken Samwise down and yielded back while Pulp Friction goes around on their first scoring pass. And the star has been passed to Toxicass, but the Nancy's, thought they were all over it. Quite right, was right there, but Toxicass did manage to stand up to the block and stay on track. I might have to walk in front of the camera at some stage. I'm loving this cephalopod hat. And I think I'll change my branding. Sweet Fanny Adams now with cephalopod. Oh, nice hit there from Zoom Zoom. And taking Toxicass down, but then Pulp Friction taken down. And yes, working nice and hard Splatterly to get the yield back there. Now Splatterly sitting in Pulp Friction's lap while we see Toxicass trying to make it past Zoom Zoom. Doing a great job. Did not take Toxicass out of bounds though, but has taken some of the air and some of the legs away from Toxicass. Pulp Friction still looking strong. Compact package, but powerful. All right, so here comes Toxicass trying to deal with Quiet Riot, Big Chester, and Bow Fractures bracing. Getting some good power. There's Zoom Zoom coming around, trying to take the thighs out of Toxicass and succeeding. So, yeah. All right, Albany don't want to run a blocker short again, so they're making sure they've got their numbers. Everyone is looking a little the worse for wear because people are backing it up. There's Stacks out again with Hazel Hellraiser and Serena Williams. Could be Slain? No, that's Rolling Stony with the pivot. Yeah, but there goes Wickard. Kitty Whiplash held up. Oh, a hop and a jump to get past there. Really love looking at her footwork. Wicked though. Powers. Listening, and yes, does call it, but was there a point picked up at... Yes, 2 points picked up at the back there. Alrighty, so there's Sawyer legs off up against Pins and Noodles. We've got Slane. We've got Hazel. We've got Splatterly. Going to do what they can. Pins and Noodles. Oh, getting some help there from Slane. Is it going to work? No. Bow Fracture. Good catch by Bow Fracture to just take that time off. So Sawyer is through for lead. Hot on their tail is Pins and Noodles, but all the points are closest to Sawyer. Sawyer trying to call it off. No points. Okay. Samwise Jamji back up against Pulp Friction. Going to be helped out by Splatterly and Slane and Serena Williams and Roland Stoney. Meanwhile, Pulp Friction, you saw her line up with her blockers to try to help make sure that Samwise was contained. Happy Cadaver trying to help. Look at the push. Oh, I'm kind of loving Pulp Friction's angry face. I hope you caught that. The fighty face, the teeth out, just the sheer drive going on there. Samwise has taken the panty off, was carried outside there by Squirrel. Quiet Right coming in for the tap, opens up the inside, and Samwise is through. So Pulp Friction going, I think that's their second scoring pass. Oh no, just their first scoring pass. So obviously good work done there by the Albany blockers. Need to keep Pulp Friction to one scoring pass. Oh, slight pack advantage. Black. We have got Wickard up against, I think that's Kitty Whiplash. Kitty Whiplash, going to have to try to deal with Bow Fracture. Now there's Melcatraz to give some assistance for Wickard, and that's really all Wickard needs, is to get that little gap to get the one hit in, because they're very good at hitting. Rolling Stoney trying to run offense, but the Nancys are reforming very quickly. Kitty Whiplash though keeps tippy-tenning it past them on the outside line. So never having an easy time of it, but still pulling it out in such a classy fashion. Sorry, people. Just thought I'd share some of the internal sound we're getting here. That is the beautiful Johnny Smash over on track 2, calling their game. Love the fact we're picking that up. I don't know if you guys can hear it. I can hear it in, I think it's my headphones. Hard to tell. Beautiful sound. So we're having a bit of an official timeout, having a look at some things. So just making sure that all scores and numbers are accurate. While the Dolminator has a bit of a chat with Go Anna and Happy Cadaver. While Zoom Zoom in the pivot panty waits off to a side, as they're going to be assisting. Hello. Do we have a... Oh no, that's Sawyer. That's Sawyer. Thought we might have had a new jammer for the Nancys. Now, that'll be up against Pins and Noodles. And we're going to have Serena Williams with Hazel Hellraiser and Stacks helping out there, because again we do have one of the Great Southern Breakers, so that's Slane, standing in the penalty box. Alrighty, so gives the opportunity for Zoom Zoom to assist with Sawyer, but the good reforming there you can see by Albany, but Sawyer is just a powerhouse. So Noodles having a harder time there, and it does become an absolute ship fight. Just chaotic there. So no gaps opening up where Pins and Noodles could use them. Now nice little tap out there by Stacks on Sawyer legs off, but Sawyer legs off just zips around the outside instead then. And Pins and Noodles still fighting hard out the back. Ooh! Don't know what took Pins and Noodles out there. Did look like a lower leg action, but who knows. Now Slane going up, trying to help out Pins and Noodles. All focus is on getting Pins and Noodles through. They need to get a jammer out. Happy Cadaver blocking on the front there, and that's enough time for Goanna to waterfall, give the booty ride, and Dominator as well. So now Albany have gone back to trying to stop Sawyer legs off, giving Zoom Zoom an opportunity to make a gap for them. There's Goanna using that reverse booty, but direction of gameplay being assigned there. And we have had the panty pass. So Serena Williams. Very confused. So there was an illegal star pass, obviously. So did not pass hand to hand, and this is going to be... So yes, Serena Williams not understanding there, which is fair enough. They were not the jammer, they were out of play. Saw the signals from the ref, but instead of reacting, yeah, very confused. Understandable. So I dare say there'll be a little bit of explanation happening here and there. Oh. So, yes. All right, we're going to take an official timeout at the moment. I don't think it's an official review. I just think they're double checking some things. I did see 888. So that, yeah, would have been going. I was holding up 8 points. So I don't know if that's something that's being queried, the points that were allocated, or just how they're handling the situation. That was pretty hectic. It was confusing. All right.
Oh, I can't see. 164 to 126.
But I don't know who's who.
164 to
Yep.
126.
So we won. I mean,
The ads are up. No, they're still playing.
All
16
right.
minutes.
All right, so now we're having an official review. It's an official review for Albany. Picked up on that happening a little too late, so I'm not going to try to run in and find out what's going on. We should get someone popping over to fill us in after it's all gone through. So yes, that was Albany challenging the penalty for the star pass. Now, the jammer was downed at the time that the star pass was made, and you must be upright in bounds to pass the star. So penalty stands. Okay, so Pulp Friction taking the power jam start. Albany trying to keep this moving. This looks like, all right, Nancy's trying to assist and now going to bleed the pack. And yep, they have done that. So Pulp Friction, lead jammer again. Very familiar sight this game, being assisted there by Go Anna, Big Chester and Bow Fracture. Now, nice hit out there. I couldn't see who did that or what, but we see that Pulp Friction is being recycled. Then gets up, and that momentum really works in their favour because they were able to find the gaps on the inside. A jump by... A jump... Oh... Is that as Pins and Noodles at some point low blocked? So did not see that. That's probably what sent their apex jump out of whack, because that went all sorts of awry. All right, this game is getting a little bit scrappy. Everyone's got a moment to get their stuff back together. So we're seeing Serena Williams, Hazel Hellraiser, Roland Stoney getting together. All right, we're coming into the home stretch. We're getting at the pointy end. We've got just under 12 and a half minutes in this period. So can these athletes keep their focus, keep themselves together without this game dissolving into a scrappy mess? I think they can. I have faith. Right, so Quiet Ride on the line there with Squirrel, Malcatraz, where they can give a sweep and assist. And Wickard, aware and waiting, used their chance. Oh, it's contained now. We've got Pins and Noodles back on track, running into Bow Fracture. Bow Fracture unable to contain. Pins and Noodles is through, but here comes Wickard on their scoring pass. Picking up the pace. Unfortunately not working, as Albany unable to stay together. It's a hard one to call. It's a good idea to pick up the pack pace if you can, but definitely beneficial if you can stay together to then form a cohesive defence. It's a great challenge to actually do that at speed. Very, very difficult to pull off. But if you don't try, you never achieve. So here we are back. We've got Kitty Whiplash up against Sawyer Legs Off on the jammer lines. Sawyer doing that strong defensive. Now you can see Happy Cadaver on the inside coming for the sweep. Sawyer looking for that, but the water falling and reforming by Splatterly and Stacks and Slane. Excellent work there. Double tap was needed to take Sawyer out, but Slane going down. Sawyer able to step back in immediately. Kitty Whiplash not through past Roseblood and Zoom as yet. Happy Cadaver in to provide assistance. Gets that inside line again for Sawyer. Kitty Whiplash is through, so Sawyer calling that one off. Just over 10 minutes left on the clock. We have the Great Southern Breakers 87 points, Nasty Nancy's 264. Okay, so sorry, just letting you listen to some of the atmosphere here in the Adelaide Showgrounds Pavilion. Okay, Pulp Friction coming through, and Samwise Jamji. Excellent work there. Managing to lock down Pulp Friction, great work. So Samwise working extra hard there, and as you can see, not able to contain Pulp Friction for long once the Nancys get in amongst that defence. Let's have a look there at Big Chester. Samwise, beautiful clean pass on the outside. Oh, Samwise giving a double fist pump to the air. Very happy with themselves, as they should be. So Wickard coming back out again, going to be assisted by Quiet Riot and Zoom Zoom. And Kitty Whiplash going to be assisted by Rolling Stony, Serena Williams. Oh, and I think that's Splatterly. All right, Fast and Furious. Now look, see, there you go. Wickard able to make their own way through. So Zoom Zoom is working there with Dolminator and Zoom Zoom. Quite a nice partnership there. Oh, Wickard stepping through the middle of the carnage. Oh, letting Kitty Whiplash almost hit the pack before calling, just bleeding a few more seconds off this clock, down to 8 minutes remaining in this game. Alrighty. So Pins and Noodles coming back to jam against... Oh, I'm going to guess and say Sawyer. Oh, it is. Look at that. And we've got an official timeout. But we can see that Big Chester working with Happy Cadaver. And Bo Fracture on track there with Goanna. And we will have Toxicast, Serena Williams, Splatterly, and Hazel Hellraiser. Oh, someone needs to tell me the stats on this to see how many jams people are going back to back with these blockers from Albany, from the Great Southern Breakers. Because they're short roster. Because I'm looking at 5 on track and 4 in the bench. So it looks like they've currently got 9. Because no one's in the sin bin. Penalty box. Sorry. So yeah, no one's currently in the penalty box. Ah, of course. Yeah. So running a very short roster means, yeah, people are just backing it up. There goes Sawyer, legs off. To be expected, Pins and Noodles there, yielded back by Bo Fracture. Pins and Noodles trying to go up the middle, but the water falling, the Nancys are back around Pins and Noodles as Sawyer comes through on their points path. Bo Fracture carrying Pins and Noodles to the outside. Pins and Noodles has the panty off, unable to make forward motion. So Toxic Cass has taken the star. Sawyer is sent. I apologise, I missed the hand signal from the refs. But the important fact is Sawyer is in the penalty box. Toxic Cass is coming around as Jammer, stepping over. Oh, little tap there. I believe it was from Chester, managing to take... Oh, cut track. Toxic Cass was looking, thought they had it right. I've done that myself, so no stones thrown there. And Sawyer back on track now. She's asked for help, so Happy Cadaver going up on that inside line. Timing not quite right, but it is maybe yep, it's what Sawyer needed just to break that defence apart enough to give the gaps that Sawyer could exploit then. Hazel Hellraiser trapped at the back of that diamond, that triangle. And here comes Sawyer, legs off again as Toxic Cass is also about to return to the track. Sawyer legs off, having a harder time this time getting through, but does make it through. Toxic Cass, however, perfect run up the outside. All right, Sawyer legs off, and that is end of jam. We have 5.5 minutes left on the board. The Great Southern Breakers are at 98 points. It'll be great to see them crack the ton before this game is over. Nasty Nancy's 278 points. I'm pretty sure they can taste the 300 from where they're standing. So we'll see if they can do that as well. Pulp Friction jamming up against Samwise Jamji, but beautiful bracing there with Splatterly. Nice coverage by Hella High Water until Mel Catraz gets involved to assist. Samwise Jamji being held up likewise by Quiet Riot, Zoom Zoom and Squirrel. No assists for Samwise, so Mel Catraz in amongst the defensive formation. We do have Pack at the front, so if the ladies realise that, unable to stop the ducking around the outside of Pulp Friction. And Star has passed. So Pulp Friction back for scoring, and look at Rolling Stony hammering that for all they're worth. Just trying to get to the point. Will they get points? They are in the position to pick up points, but will they? Pulp Friction coming around. I think the Nancys are trying for that 300. Lovely duck around the outside. You saw the weave and the slide, so nice bit of work there. Beautiful camera position to pick that one up. So Rolling Stony in the penalty box. It is Pulp Friction. Pulp Friction up to 14 points on this jam thus far. 19 points. They are 3 points away from the 300 with 32 seconds. There's more than enough time. It is a power jam. The Nancys are getting in amongst that Albany defence. But there we go. Stack's getting a little bit of a stop on, but there we go. Change of direction, and Pulp Friction is through. So that is it. The Nancys have cracked 300 in this jam. Coverage on the in. Stacks comes through. A little bit of jagging around, but makes it through. Full 2-minute jam. 28 points for the Nasty Nancys, taking them up to 306 points with 3 minutes remaining on the clock. However, Great Southern Breakers having a bit of a celebrate, because you can see they also have cracked the ton. They have got 102 points on the board. They are very happy with that, as they should be. They've fought for every single one of those points, but we are not over yet. And jam is on with Wickard. Yeah, Wickard powering through another pack, while Kitty Whiplash, assist from Stacks, going a little bit skew whiff there. Bow Fracture bracing like an absolute fiend. Dolminator and Happy Gadava cycling around, changing positions as needed. Good fluid formation. Serena Williams trying to get in amongst that formation to give Kitty Whiplash the tiny gap they need. No focus on Wickard, who's gone around again. All efforts done on getting their jammer out of the pack, which has occurred after Wickard has already scored. Samwise Jamji returning to track, and Kitty Whiplash deciding to use them as a bit of a smoke screen. Kitty Whiplash. All right. Unfortunate for her, but very good awareness that the wheels had gone out of bounds, noticing Happy Cadaver yielding them back. Everyone's having a little bit of a tap at Wickard. Kitty Whiplash, so very impressed with managing to keep themselves clean, which sounds kind of rude when you say it like that, but staying clean on track in challenging circumstances. Wicked, of course. Impressive jammer that way. Here we go, washing off the speed in order to attack. Falling afoul of the floor. It is slippery here. Cold and crisp today. Kitty Whiplash getting some love and support from their fans. Always good to hear. Wickard's actually been stopped. Wow, that takes some doing. Wickard is no piece of fluff. Here we go. Official review time. I'm actually going to wander in. And there we have it for your viewing pleasure. Sweet Fanny Adams with cephalopod. So the query is the lack of a forearms call on the green jammer, so on Kitty Whiplash. The contention is that Kitty took a whip off a black blocker. So we'll be able to tell if Kitty goes to the penalty box if that was the action observed by any of our refs. However, I will still toddle back in just because I can. Okay, so forearm contact was observed, but the overall impact, there was no sort of active, forceful pull to gain the momentum. So, yes, there was contact, but the impact from that was not sufficient. So there is no penalty ascribed. And that was why it wasn't called in the first place. Now, saw your legs off. There you go, round and round and round and round. And poor pins and noodles. Oh, great opportunity there. Chester falling afoul of the slippery floor. And pins and noodles. Wow, that is a very, very long way to chase the gem. There comes Sawyer back. They're managing to contain Sawyer. Pins and noodles taking a big hit from Zoom, but managing to transition it. Cheers from the crowd. Well deserved. That was a beautiful bit of skating there. And the reverse slide, trying to get past people, pins and noodles, but the call-off came before then. So that is time, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. We are looking at the unofficials. I will wait for the curly whistle of doneness, and I'll wait for our curly whistle of doneness, not the other track's one. So at this stage, we're going to have to wait to see how the points breaks, so the differentials work out, to see who is going to be going into our next game. So to find out when the Nancys are playing next, you might need to jump onto the TGSS website. So if you want to catch either of these teams again, jump onto the TGSS website, have a look to see as they announce the breakdowns of the division, quarterfinals and semis, etc. So don't miss out on seeing if your favourite team is playing again. Don't miss out on seeing that. Thank you very much for having me. I am Sweet Fanny Adams, signing out.